Hello everyone, we're here for learn how to do solder copper pipe. So I have started my copper pipe project. I have cut most of the pieces. I'm going to show you how to cut a couple more and how to use a tube cutter, how to flux and clean your fittings and pipe. But this is the diagram in which a project you're going to be doing. The project is 12 inches by 12 inches and then it extends up 4 inches with an MIP fitting to attach a pressure gauge so we can do a pressure test on your whole project. All right, so what I'm going to do is our first piece I'm going to cut is going to be 10.5 inches, and that's going to be the bottom piece here. But before we get started, I'm going to talk about the tools you'll need for soldering pipe. First tool is a tube cutter. Tube cutter has two purposes: to cut the pipe and also to ream the inside of the pipe to get any burrs off that would create turbulence in your water pipe. This is a fitting cleaner and also a tube, the copper tube cleaner. This will do 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch pipe. This is also the same thing. This is a fitting brush. This is lead-free solder. Lead-free solder you want to use in any potable water. You don't want to use anything that has lead in it for bathing, drinking, or anything of that nature. These are fittings. This is flux. This is an acid brush. Striker for your torch. And this is a propane torch. This propane torch is going to be perfect for soldering 1/2 inch to up to 1 inch pipe. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to mark out 10.5 inches. I recommend using a Sharpie because it's easily seen when you're marking your pipe. So with this tube cutter, it has two rollers. The pipe is going to go into those rollers, and the cutting wheel here will line up with your mark. So you just want to snug it. You don't want to dent a pipe. If you dent a pipe, then the tube cutter will not work. So we'll tighten it up, and we'll slowly go around and just twist every 2 turns. And then we're off. Okay? So I'm going to clean this piece of pipe right away. I'm going to insert the pipe into this portion of the cleaning tool. This gets all the residue off that comes from the factory. It has oils and whatever dirt it accumulates from shipping. So we want to make sure we clean down at least an inch, 1.5 inches, so when the fitting fits on, it's cleaned very well. So we're going to put soldering paste on this portion of the tube on both sides. This helps adhere the solder to the copper. And then we're going to clean the inside of the pipe. Okay? Inside the fitting, sorry. So we clean the inside of the fitting just as well as the pipe. And we're also going to throw some flux inside of there. We can attach that to our pipe. All right, clean the other fitting. And more flux. Tighten the pipe. We have one more piece of cut. That one's going to go here, and that one's 8 inches. So mark this at 8. What I forgot to do on there, this part of the tool cleans off those burrs inside. Okay? So we'll clean. Now, before we solder, we want to make sure all our copper's project is sitting flat. Okay, so what I recommend is when you're working off this table, we're just going to slide this off just enough so we can solder these 4 joints, and then we can turn it and solder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 there, and then just keep turning the project until you have all of them soldered. All right, so what I want to do is with my solders, I want to pull off about 6 inches. I put a little curl on that just so I can get in there. So in lighting your torch, it's off right now, it's to the right. I'm going to turn to the left, and you'll hear the gas start coming out, and you'll just strike it with your striker. So when you heat it, you want to heat behind where you're going to solder, because we want the solder to go towards the heat. Give it a little bit to heat up. And once it's hot, you can pull the flame away, and that's all we need to seal that copper up. You can take your flux brush and go around. We'll go to this one. Make sure you put your torch off when you're done. So that's how it should look. If you turn it around, I have no solder lumps hanging down. It should all stay clean, okay? And everyone will say, oh my God, I don't have all this big blob of solder. Well, you only need a little bit to fill the inside of this coupling here to the pipe. So it doesn't have to be a big glob. So there you have it on how to solder. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me during class. Take your time and do a good job, and then we'll pressure test it and see how you do. All right.